when we found out we were expecting Patrick. It was very exciting. He was our first child, and everything was typical. Had a great pregnancy and delivery, and we were very blessed when he was born.
After Patrick was born, it was a little overwhelming at first because he was our first child and we didn't quite know what to expect. But as the months wore on, things got easier, and I really enjoyed being a new dad and coming home and playing with Patrick.
He developed typically for the first 9.5 months. He learned to sit and crawl and stand and take a few steps, and then he suffered a stroke. We took him home after 2 weeks, and they said, start physical therapy, occupational therapy, and we did intensive therapy we're still doing therapy, but back then he was getting it twice a week, and slowly he gained some skills back, and his right side is affected. He uses a power wheelchair now, and the therapies continue, and he gets stronger every year, but he will always probably be in a wheelchair. I think Patrick is living in an excellent time with technology and activities that are adapted to handicapped individuals. He's, the very first technology we had for him was the Kindle. He couldn't turn a page like we can, so the Kindle when he was in second grade was an amazing thing. And of course now the iPad is his link to a lot of things. On the education side, computers and his school is amazing with providing him everything he needs. Physical activities, he can pretty much do any activity that he'd like. Everything is adapted today, and some of the things he does are skiing, of course horseback riding, which is paramount. He's able to swim in the pool. He can walk in the water, which is a very freeing feeling for him. He's tried all kinds of things like karate and gymnastics, and he can ride his bike. It's pretty limitless, and I think what we do as a family is incorporate all those activities with our whole family, and we're very lucky that we can have the activities that our whole family enjoys, going to the beach and going skiing and things like that. So we're not limited at all, and we just treat Patrick like an individual. We don't see the wheelchair anymore. Most people say that with Patrick. If they see him doing these activities, they don't even notice the wheelchair anymore, that he's so independent and able to enjoy activities in life.
Having a brother with a disability, it can be tough. I share a room with him, so I have to help him with a lot of things, but it kind of helps us see the world through different eyes.
Mm-hmm. People are surprised to learn that Patrick can do a lot more things than people could expect from him. He can horseback ride really well, and he's also really smart in high school, and he can sing, and he's really good with technology and puzzles. He's very positive about stuff. He's never negative about his disability, or else he might think that, but he's never said anything about it. He's positive, and he can find a way to figure out stuff.
Patrick had ridden ponies at birthday parties when he was very small. We did find a ranch that had adapted horseback riding when he was about 5, and he was there a couple of years and really enjoyed it. He had a lot of assistants. He had side walkers and a lead walker, and but then we found out about Camelot. My cousin had a patient who was a volunteer at Camelot, and they struck up a conversation about Patrick somehow, and he said, you should check out Camelot. It's an amazing place. And I think I was on the phone 2 days later with Mary, and we came in and had an interview, and this has been 5 years now that he's been at Camelot, and it is a remarkable place. It's unlike any other place he's been. He's ridden at 2 other places and Camelot, and Camelot is the full experience. It's, getting his own tack in a room that's all accessible for his height and ability, and they have an amazing ramp to mount him on the horse. Then there's the ride. He loves the trail rides, and he loves the arena rides, and then after that they've got the grooming and the feeding. It's just an all-inclusive experience for him.
One of the benefits of Camelot is really teaching the kids to be independent, and one of the ways you do that is creating some separation with the parents, and it can be it can be difficult for parents at first. I think as parents, even as parents of children without disabilities, you want to be there for your child, and think back to the first swim lessons that you might have with your kids. You're not comfortable just turning your 6-month or a year-old child over to someone and coming back in an hour to pick your child up. And that's sort of the way we felt, I think, initially with Patrick. We felt that we needed to be there for him in case something happened.
Anything.
But I think we learned fairly quickly that he didn't need us there, and that he was in good hands, with the folks at Camelot. And he developed a lot of independence, I think, because of the way Camelot instills expectations in him, and he has a lot of responsibilities. When he does do a riding lesson at Camelot, and I think it's carried over to things that he does at home and at school, and I think it really creates a better quality of life all around for him.
Camelot is very important to me because it helps me become more independent. I think that my balance has definitely become better since I'm on a horse. So parents aren't allowed to watch kids when they're in lessons because it would be a distraction, and the parents could probably videotape their children, and then they would be paying more attention to their parents than the horse itself. And I think it's a good thing that they're not allowed to watch.
One of the things that sets Camelot apart from the other places that we've been to with Patrick for riding is that Camelot doesn't charge for any of its lessons. And that's, I think, a great advantage for Camelot to parents with special needs children. I think as parents of special needs children, you're sometimes overwhelmed with all the things that you have to do. The therapies, the appointments, the special equipment, and a lot of times things are not covered by insurance, and it can be a burden, or at least an unexpected expense that parents have to incur. And a lot of times you're faced with choices about what to do, what level of service to take, or what kind of equipment to get if expense does become an issue. And to have the peace of mind knowing that you can do something that is a great benefit to your child, and there's no charge at all to the parents. It's amazing. It's something that it gives you, like I said, peace of mind, and it takes a burden off. At least thinking that this is something that frankly that can be pretty expensive. We've done lessons in therapy at other places, and it can get pretty expensive. And I know that there's a lot of expense that goes into running a place like Camelot or any other place like that, for that matter. So when an organization can offer services like that to parents at no charge, I think it just opens up the population that Camelot can serve to a lot wider. It can cast a lot wider net.
I think Patrick enjoys Camelot so much. It's a place he goes once a week, and he enjoys every aspect of it. He doesn't ever miss a week unless he's got too much homework, which is sometimes. He has gained so much independence from being there. They expect a lot of him, and he rises to it and is very successful there. When he began, he had 2 sidewalkers and a lead walker, and I was shocked a couple of years ago when Mary said I could come out and watch, and I heard Roseanne say, "Okay, Patrick, go warm up." So he mounted the horse and went and warmed up. I was very pleased with that he had gotten that far in the lessons, that he could be that independent. So I think that Camelot gives him the challenges he needs and the independence. Literally, he just takes off and goes in and gets going.
Camelot even presses the boundaries for parents, takes us out of our comfort zone to know that our kids are going to be okay. Despite whatever they've gone through, they have lots of opportunities, and they shouldn't be kept in a sheltered environment. They need to get out there and live and test the boundaries.
Camelot has changed me because it's definitely made me more independent. I'm able to get around the house easier. If I want to get down on the ground, I'm able to do that without my parents' help.
I've learned from Camelot that no matter how bad a disability, or even if you don't have a disability at all, there's something out there for everybody.
When Patrick was asked to ride 2 years ago in the Hosen Heroes spring event, and I heard that he would be leading Andrea, who is another student who's been blind since birth. So you have Patrick, who is very soft-spoken. His breath support is limited because of his muscular tone. And you have Andrea, who can't see. I thought it's going to be an amazing task for them to perform, but they worked all year. And the day of the event came, and I was blown away that they did the routine in the arena. She was taking his verbal cues, and they did their routine. It was beautiful. The music they chose was very touching, and it was just an amazing day.
It was very exciting to get to know a person who had a different disability than I have, and then lead them blindly in an arena filled with people watching us. It was kind of fun.
As I've said, one of the things that Camelot does is it really creates a place where children and adults with disabilities can test the boundaries and develop more independence. But I think for Patrick, beyond all of that, it's really a place where he belongs. And I think for kids, growing up, they all need places, that are safe for them, places where they fit in and belong. And Camelot's really been that home for Patrick. It's a place where he really thrives. He really looks forward to going there. Whatever else is going on in his week, whether it's homework or therapies, or fights that he's getting into with his brother or sister, he can go to Camelot and know that for that time that he's there, that it's a place where he likes going and really belongs, and really feels like it's his place.
I think it's a place where you can kind of get accepted more. He can't play sports like us, so riding horses can kind of just be his escape.
Horseback riding is great for people with disabilities that can't walk because it gives them the feeling that they are able to walk. I know that for sure. Just like being around horses. I have a real connection to them.